again. So the next step that we need to do is we're going to take off the tie arm, or the tie rod. That tie rod can be tough on these things, and there is a special tool that you can use. So let's look at the tie rod. And here's the tie rod right there. Now what we want to do is, there's a bolt underneath, which is right here, that goes here, and what you want to do is get this tool here, and it's called tie rod remover, because it seals between in this gap right here, but there's a boot there, so you have to be very careful when you put your fork underneath there, not to damage that boot. Not that they don't have rebuild kits, but depending on the year of your car and availability of parts, and since we're here in Alaska and this is a Saturn, we want to try to be careful. So you stick the fork between the metal part, the metal bar, and the boot, tap on it with a hammer. You can put it either way. You'll see that's got a nice angle to it, so whatever way you would like, put it on there, tap it in with a hammer, and it will eventually, boink, it'll pop off. And that's all there is to it. Be patient with it, don't beat the crap out of it, and try to salvage your boot. Okay, see you in a while. Okay, back again. Now what we're going to do is we need to take this hub off. We need to bend it forward, or actually, sorry, turn it sideways, and we're going to try to remove the axle on the passenger side. Let me show you what we mean here. Here's an axle right here. Now this axle goes back into the engine. I know it's kind of hard to see, and I will give you a better shot once I get underneath there, but this axle extends from here through the center of the vehicle and into the transmission. So remove these bolts, which I've already done, and I think I explained that, how to get to that on another video, but there's 2 bolts in here, 1, 2. Take these off. This unit here will move forward, and as you move it forward, you move it to the side, and you take your axle here and move it off to the side, because there's another bolt underneath that carriage there. Take that off, and we're able to remove this part here. So manipulating this axle out of the transmission should be a lot easier. Okay, I'll get back to you. So the next step is that we need to get this axle off of this hub assembly. We've already taken off the tie rod. I showed you how we got that off. Now what you want to do is, this has flexibility to go to the side. Remember, this was sitting up there. We took out those bolts. Now what you need to do is to manipulate this forward, and at the same time pull this back and forth, because you have this whole assembly that you have to get out. Now there's a spleen in there, so you want to tap that out. And as you can see, it's a pretty wide load here, and this does have some flexibility in it. There you go. And what you're doing is separating this axle from this assembly here, so that you can take this assembly off to get everything out of the way. This bolt right here, you take that off, and there's another joint similar to what's on the tie rod. Take this off, get this out of the way, so that when you're trying to get this off, it makes it easier. Now theoretically, you got springs on either side of this mount, but you would have to hold it down and get everything out of the way, so we're just going to take the whole thing off because it's easy to put back. Okay, I'll get this off. I'm going to look at this strut assembly over here. Maybe you can take a look over here. I'm going to take this off, and these are pretty straightforward. What you need to do is put an Allen wrench in the center here. That's designed for an Allen wrench. Put your other wrench over here. Take this one off. Take this one off. Set that aside. This is for your stabilizer bar, which you will deal with a little bit later. Get this out of the way, and then we're going to pull this axle out of the transmission, and so that'll be our next step. So see you in a while.